I discovered my therapist was sharing my sessions as entertainment at dinner parties, so I gave her something really worth talking about. Dr. Rebecca Winters came highly recommended, Yale-educated, published author, waiting list longer than my grocery receipt. For 6 months, I poured my heart out about childhood trauma, failed relationships, and panic attacks that left me hyperventilating in grocery store aisles while strangers stared. She seemed perfect. Expensive leather chairs, diplomas covering every wall, and this way of nodding that made you feel heard. I trusted her completely with my darkest secrets. The first red flag came at my friend Sarah's birthday party. A woman in an expensive silk dress approached me, eyes bright with recognition. "You're Emma, right? The one with the mother issues?" My blood turned cold. The punch cup slipped from my fingers. I'd never met this woman in my life. "Rebecca tells the most fascinating stories about her clients," she continued, oblivious to my horror. "Obviously, she changes names, but your case is particularly compelling. The grocery store panic attacks, the way you called her sobbing from the parking lot, brilliant material for understanding modern anxiety." Other party guests had turned to look. Some were nodding knowingly. My stomach dropped as I realized they'd all heard my story too. I excused myself and locked myself in the bathroom, hands shaking violently. Changed names. There was only one therapist named Rebecca I knew. The next week, I sat across from Dr. Winters, studying her face differently. The same practice smile, the same designer blazer. But now I saw something else. Calculation behind those kind blue eyes. When I mentioned feeling betrayed by someone I trusted, she leaned forward with that practiced empathy. "Trust is fundamental to healing," she said. "When someone violates that trust, it can reopen old wounds." The irony made me physically nauseous. That weekend, I did something that would have horrified my former self. I followed her. Dr. Winters lived in an upscale neighborhood where houses looked like museum displays. Saturday night, luxury cars filled her driveway. Through the dining room window, I watched her holding court at a dinner party, wine glass in hand, animated gestures painting a story. My story. She was describing my panic attacks, how I'd called her sobbing from a Walmart parking lot because the fluorescent lights triggered flashbacks. The guests hung on every word, some laughing at parts that had broken me. One woman actually wiped tears from laughing so hard. One man raised his glass. To Rebecca, who makes therapy sound better than Netflix. I stood in her bushes, watching strangers toast my trauma while sipping wine that probably cost more than I spent on groceries. Monday morning, I scheduled an emergency session. "I've been having disturbing thoughts," I told her, keeping my voice steady. "About revenge fantasies, detailed ones." Her pen moved across the notepad with renewed interest. I could practically see the dollar signs in her eyes. This would make excellent dinner party material. "Tell me more about these fantasies," she said, leaning forward. I took a shaky breath, channeling every acting class I'd taken in college. I keep imagining what I'd do to someone who betrayed my trust, someone who pretended to care about me but was actually using me. For the next 45 minutes, I spun elaborate tales of revenge involving public humiliation and career destruction. She took notes furiously, occasionally asking for clarification on the more creative details. "This level of planning is concerning," she said as our session ended. "We should explore this anger next week." I scheduled another appointment and left, knowing exactly what she'd be discussing at her next dinner party. The irony was delicious. She was so eager to harvest my fake revenge fantasies that she completely missed the real revenge plot unfolding right in front of her perfectly sculpted face. That night, I started planning for real.